welcome back. And this is the Dish That Podcast with me, Alan Hubbard. The Dish That Podcast is brought to you by Al Concepts. And we thank you for the love. We thank you for the comments. We thank you for the shares on our previous episode. Remember, this is a 12-part series where we bring you what happened at the Inclusive Africa Conference 2023. In our first episode, we got to speak to Julius Mbura, who was one of the guys who are in charge in making sure that the Inclusive Africa Conference came to you. Now, that was exciting, but this one is even going to be more exciting because we speak to an amazing woman. You've heard about self-advocates who are on the autism spectrum, but this one you've never heard about. And this self-advocate is none other than Sarah Bosibori. And in this episode, we got to talk about literally everything, all right? She got to share, she was vulnerable enough to share about how she lost her crush to her sister. Apparently, she had a crush way back in time who she was interested in, but the crush told her, that she was more interested in her sister than her. You don't want to miss this. But also, she got to share about what she dislikes most with her being a person on the autism spectrum when people get to ask her or people get to tell her that you do not look autistic. Well, without further ado, listen to my conversation with Sarah Bosibori, and do not forget to leave your comment, leave your views, and I'll be able to send them to Sarah for anything or for feedback on them. And also, we might just be able to convince her to bring her for a second episode or for another episode on the Dish That Podcast. Enjoy. Your first heartbreak at 16.
Yes. It's a very interesting story. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are in the same school.
Yeah.
With this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a year ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's this black, the stereotype kind of guy for chicks, tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah.
But then now he looks like Asher Raymond. And we had an extracurricular activity called the music club or dancing club, I remember.
Yeah.
And we used to dance together. Sizileza atiwe grinding. We did not go grinding manenos back then.
Yeah, you only dancing.
We were just dancing.
Yeah.
I think it was the crank. Remember crank music?
Yeah, and I was about to ask, is this the days of Step Up? Remember the Step Up movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that same movie.
Yeah.
Also, I think Sean Paul released a music video, Giving Up to Me. So
Yeah.
It had a bit.
Some snippets from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a crush on this guy and I wanted to tell him.
Yeah.
But Kumbe, he told me himself that he's seen my elder sister and my elder sister.
Goodness.
All my sisters are pretty. That's why I'm also pretty myself.
Did you have to tell us?
Unfortunately,
we can see it. Did you have to tell us?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
si mimi alichagua. So, oh my gosh, heartbreak.
At 16, how do you deal with it?
Okay, it was. I felt like it was really painful. But looking back, I'm like, it's just stupidity, man.
Yeah.
It's a teenage puppy dog love happening.
Sort of thing, yeah. Is Asher Raymond still with your sister? Did they ever get to be together? Or he was also broken his heart?
No. I think they've met once, but
Yeah.
actually, sis, I've never told you this, but now it's on air. Yeah, living young, actually.
I cannot stop laughing.
Yes.
I cannot stop laughing. So you might be wondering why we started a little bit different. This is a conversation that we are having before Mr. Director was able to do his thing. But welcome to the second episode of today for this data podcast. I am your host Alan Hubbard, and
I'm Sarah Bosibori, aka Sash, aka the Autistic Advocate.
all right,
Yeah.
Sash
Yeah.
Bosibori.
Yeah.
Who is Bosibori?
Bosibori is an autistic advocate, as I had told you earlier.
Yeah,
I also work for Enable Me Kenya.
yeah,
My work entails basically spreading awareness for the neurodiverse community and myself as well, because
Yeah.
I consider it a journey, still a journey of acceptance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. What time do you identify, or what time does your parents or even your siblings or your family entirely discover that Bosibori is on the neurodiverse community?
When I first got diagnosed, I was very young,
Yeah,
but it was more seen
Yeah.
in school
yeah,
with my academics. Yes, that's where they identified that I might have a neurological condition.
Yeah. Academics, exactly how? Because even Mr. Director here will tell you he wasn't good at mathematics. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a problem. I had a problem reading and writing.
Yeah.
I was very hyperactive. I think that was like the few traits that they captured of me having autism: being
Yeah.
hyperactive, attention span. I was very distracted. I get distracted easily, but
Yeah.
as a child before therapy, my attention span was on zero mode.
Yeah.
So when they identified those traits, that's when they diagnosed me with autism. Yeah.
Interesting.
Through assessment.
Yeah. Take us through neurodiverse. Neurodiverse. What is being on the neurodiverse spectrum? We hear autism, we hear Down syndrome. Could you educate somebody who is watching us right now?
Neurodiversity is a spectrum, basically individuals who are with neurological conditions. This is
Yeah.
CP, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, dyslexia, autism, epilepsy is also part of the neurological conditions,
Yeah.
and many other multiple disabilities. Yes.
All right. When the discovery, when your family gets told that Sash probably is autistic or she is on the neurodiverse spectrum, what happens to your family? Was there a lived experience of a family member with on the neurodiverse spectrum, or you are the first and it came as like Allah?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
In my family, I don't think there's an autistic person.
Yeah.
But once they realized it, it's hard to accept that your child is living with a different condition and is not. I won't say is not normal.
Yeah.
But differently wired.
Yeah.
Yes. From society, because they have because of society and the expectations people have, they still we still have those things with us, and worrying about stigma and stuff like that
Yeah.
is what makes a person in denial. Yeah, for having a person that is close to you that has a condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. And then definitely we'll particularly focus on the on autism or on the autism spectrum. And there are so many myths and misconceptions. Have you watched? Before I ask you if you've watched it, let us talk about autism more extensively. There are some misconceptions about autism. Which are some of these that you could make aware to somebody who is listening to us and somebody who is watching? And could you be able to demystify some of them so that we can educate guys who are watching?
I think the first one is you don't look autistic. There's nothing in this world like you're supposed to be looking autistic to have these traits.
Yeah.
Because autism does not have a look. Autism is a condition that is mainly an internal one. Yes, it's a neurological condition.
Yeah.
Probably our hyperactivity or the meltdowns are the ones that show we are autistic, but we do not look autistic. There's nothing like that in the dictionary
or anywhere.
Anywhere.
When somebody hits you with that, you don't look autistic. What is your first impression? What do you like entirely retract and just want to withdraw? What happens even before we go into other sort of myths and misconceptions?
No, I think with my experience of advocating and me telling people that I'm autistic, it's not. I don't take it as an offense, but rather because we're all human beings.
Yeah.
There are people who judge and there are people that don't judge, and there are people who want to seek knowledge and ask you genuinely, so what is autism? So how? Give me more details of autism. Yeah. For me, okay, it became irritating to some point, but later on I came to understand that in order for you to spread awareness is just be calm, collective, and explain. Yeah.
Interesting. That is a very important trait that most people with disabilities don't possess. Be calm and explain or educate. Before we go into even why most persons or some persons with disabilities might not possess those traits, which are some of the other misconceptions that you have come across. Demystify this one for me. You say that you aren't very good in the books when you're getting the diagnosis, but one of the traits that probably a trait or a misconception is that persons on the autism spectrum, they are super intelligent.
Yes, that always comes up. Oh my gosh, you guys have superpowers.
Yeah.
You can do this and this.
Look at Elon Musk.
Look at Elon Musk. Yes, Elon Musk is like the richest man on earth right now. He owns Tesla.
Yeah.
He also owns SpaceX.
He wants to take us
He
to
wants
the moon.
to take us to the moon. Yes, we all want to do that, but it's all of us that are living with or are autistic. All autistic people are very different. Very different. It's like personalities. You can't have the same personality as I have. Yeah, so that's my view.
Look at you looking at me, or do you want some of it?
Yeah, is it contagious?
Any other misconception apart from being super intelligent? But I think you make a very good point because just like personalities, there are so many different personalities, and we are so many of us, and we cannot be all from the same jar. We can be the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one is we don't have a good sense of humor, or we don't get jokes. That's one, like it's the same thing of how like an introvert can't you can't all be introverts. Yeah, so if I can get your joke, someone else can't get it. It's okay. It's a human trait.
Yeah. Okay. You like jokes?
Like That's my everything. Like, in the morning, I'd like to laugh,
Yeah. Mm.
Yes, that's how also I end my day.
Yeah.
By if I'm like after this conference, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
When I go back home and settle, I love
Mm.
watching shows like Rick and Morty.
Who makes you
Of
laugh?
which my dad makes me laugh because he's the comedian in the family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to, is he called Bosibori?
Bosibori is a female name, man.
I thought it's a family name.
No. Bitange, Kenneth
Oh.
Bitange.
Okay, shout out comedian Bitange in the house.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. Besides from that,
Yeah.
is there any other person who makes you laugh? Maybe a comedian.
Which one? I love Kevin Hart.
Mm.
Kevin Hart is
And the
funny.
screaming.
Huh?
The screaming. You saw that special that he did when he was screaming.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Ooh, and Snoop Dogg. Oh my gosh, he's a rapper, but
Yeah.
his posts on IG are crazy. Like this guy, I don't know where
Yeah.
he gets his content, but yes,
These guys,
funny.
I think they put in a little bit of more research into coming up with the jokes as well, so
Yeah.
so that they really can't you. Your favorite joke?
Guy, Atia's favorite joke. See, I
Your
took-
favorite your favorite Kevin Hart joke?
Wow.
Have you had jokes about him and his daughter?
The favorite. Have you watched some YouTube video of him and was it Undertaker? Where like they were in the bathtub and the both of them were sharing experiences. Was it Undertaker?
You see, given that you're talking about the Undertaker and Kevin Hart in the bathtub, that's a
It was one of the wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, man.
Yeah.
And then they were filled up with like ice cubes, yeah.
Mm.
And then they were asking each other. No, Kevin Hart was asking him
Yeah.
his experience as a wrestler. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It was very hilarious.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, it was the Undertaker because the Paul Bearer was there.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry, I used to love wrestling when I was a kid.
You've taken us to back when you were a kid, and you're talking about the kind of shows that you watch when you go back home. Why are you limited in the kind of content that you could consume? And I ask this question because it's in relation with then how do you discover this aspect of you that you have a great sense of humor, or you are interested in humor, or you have what brought to the build up? What led to the build up of that? What did you grow up watching?
Very interesting. Tom and Jerry. I used to watch a lot of Looney Tunes, and then Mr.
Never.
Bean. Oh my gosh, Mr.
Rowan
Bean.
Anderson.
Oh, he's I think the best comedian after Charlie Chaplin, because Charlie Chaplin was silent,
Yeah.
and also Mr. Bean was silent.
Yeah.
But sometimes he would talk, and that's really
Very, he would just do funny sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he's so disappointed, he'd be like, "No," and Teddy.
Yeah. and then you wonder, why would a grown-up be acting like that?
Exactly, and he's an engineer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's growing up seeing those comedies and stuff
Yeah.
made me appreciate comedy. Yeah, and the sense of humor.
What aches you most when people say that people who are autistic or even persons with disabilities don't have a sense of humor?
It does affect. Okay, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
Because I would ask them. So how do you know that this person doesn't have a sense of humor if you haven't tried to crack a joke? Or like as you and me, our understanding is you have to look at someone's body language and then interpret and see if that person is open for jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone can see that. Yeah.
Where do you think the border is for humor and disability? Have you seen the dark humor about disability?
I've seen so many dark humor on the internet, and there's some memes that are very they can get really offensive.
Yeah.
But I think it's for the individual themselves to take it to the offense or not to take it. Yeah.
Is it a good tool then, or would it be a bad tool? Because there's some that I've seen, I'm like, wait a minute, I would laugh definitely because some of these some of these memes and some of these clips, they are very, very hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
School. Have been diagnosed. How do you make it through school?
How when? Sorry.
How do you make it through school? Did you stay in school? Did you?
I started off at a mainstream school.
Yeah.
But I had to be transferred to a special school where I got my therapy.
Yeah.
And that's how the developing part started.
Yeah. Could you have a clear distinction between quote-unquote regular school and quote-unquote special school?
Yes.
Would you be able to distinguish between the two?
Yes, I could, because in the school that I was in, we had people living with we had people that are autistic.
Yeah.
We have people with cerebral palsy, people with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Those are not like the physically challenged. But as well, Down syndrome is also part of neurological conditions.
Yeah.
But it's physical at the same time. So, and then we're less people, we're less community. For me, it felt like I was in a community where I belong because we're so many different individuals there, and despite, or let me not say despite, having a community that is like yourself made me more comfortable because at least there's a community where I belong. Yeah.
Before the diagnosis, even in a mainstream school, would you feel out of place? That's why you would say that when you went to the school that you were at, you felt more at home as compared to a mainstream school.
Yes. I was a very hyperactive kid.
Yeah.
I could socialize with my peers. But now, when it comes to class, when we're going to class, and then people are being asked questions, and you fail the answer.
Yeah.
Not because you
do not know it. Yeah.
Failing it.
Yeah.
It's belittled me. So in a school, a special needs school, and all of you guys are learning the same thing, and every person is being taught at their pace. It's made me more confident. Now the issue was transitioning now to after high school, like primary, secondary, transitioning now to a tertiary institute. Most tertiary institutes in Kenya are not accommodating enough for persons with, for people who are autistic, people who have cerebral palsy, people who are on wheelchairs and stuff like that.
Interesting. Before we graduate the conversation onto other topics, autism is a spectrum. Could you explain a little bit further? what exactly is on the spectrum?
Okay. Spectrum. We mean the people who are on the severe end
Yeah.
of autism, where
Yeah.
there's the non-verbal,
Yeah.
very hyperactive, may have a coexisting condition like epilepsy, and then now we have the mild, like I'm
Yeah.
on the mild side of autism, where some of my traits are very pronounced.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I also have ADHD. Yeah, so I'm on the mild spectrum where I'm verbal.
Yeah.
I can communicate with you. Yeah, so that's like that's what
That's the
defines the
spectrum.
spectrum. Yeah.
Interesting. So when you are, I will continue using the word quote because for a lack of a better word, when you are in special school, what talents do you discover that you have, and how do you transit out of school system now into such? Because I believe in high school, for real, you are in such, not unless you are.
I think I was still looking for such. Yeah,
You're discovering
yeah, I
yourself
was
basically.
discovering myself.
What talents did you identify in school, and how have they helped you now move into the this long journey of life?
The arts.
Yeah.
Before actually, I transferred to a special school. My art teacher is called Mr. Hinga. He's late right now. Rest in peace,
Mr.
Mr.
Hinga.
Hinga. Yeah, he's the one who identified that I love art, and it was among my strengths in primary. Art and music. Music because I used to love singing.
I was about to tell you, can you drop us a cappella?
No, not today, not today. I'm
Oh,
so shy.
all right,
But
all right.
funny thing, I was in a choir
Yeah.
in primary.
Oh my goodness. What voice were you singing?
I think alto. I can't go soprano. Soprano.
Soprano is for the
Hata
gwijis.
kama mimi Bosibori na tunajulikana na soprano voices. No.
Yeah.
Alto. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you further the art? Yeah.
Yes, I did actually. After high school,
Yeah.
there's this guy called an art teacher of mine in high school now. He's called Eric Manya, and he's we actually meet time to time. He also invites me for workshops.
Yeah.
So, immediately after I finished high school, I was enrolled in to do some classes at the Go Down Art Center.
I know the Go Down.
Yes, it used to be around industrial
South
area.
Industrial area.
Yeah, so I went there for I think a couple of months. So I was sent to another heavyweight artist in Kenya. It's called Patrick Mukabi.
Yeah.
One of my he's also a big mentor of mine. He's done pieces that most people see in Java of big mamas in the soko.
Yeah.
Mama Soko.
Yeah.
So he taught me for a couple of months as well. Actually, from him is when I first got my 5,000 bob after selling a piece of art. This was back in 2014, if I'm not wrong, and the exhibition it's normally done annually every year. And it's called Affordable Art Fair, and that was my the first time I sold a piece in my life.
Yeah.
That is worth 5,000 bob. So yes, from now my art teacher, I got into art. I started painting. I started drawing pencil portraits and stuff like that. And then in 2015 is when I joined BIFA, Buruburu Institute of Fine Arts. That's where I did my certificate course in drawing and painting. Fortunately, yes, I passed. I didn't know that I could actually in a normal mainstream institute. So after that, I went on and I'm like, since I finished my cert, why don't I go back and do a diploma course?
Yeah.
So I went along with it, but it was because we all know that diploma can be intense now.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very intense. I could not know how to juggle like my entertainment, the leisure time,
Yeah.
and juggling with exams and doing my projects.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, that led me. It's like I was trying to not be autistic and just go beyond my limits. So I went through depression, and then now identity crisis came in. Actually wanted to end my life, and that's when I decided. Like, there's actually a lecturer that told me, and he had noticed that my attendance was low, and he told me like, you're not being yourself. So he actually saved me from saying that statement that I am not being myself. So I had to drop out. I dropped out of BIFA, and I was really low. I was at the lowest point of my life. And then my siblings, they actually came and they kind of rescued me. And I was told, they suggested that I need to seek a support group.
Yeah.
And since I'm a social bird, I love social media. So on Facebook, I looked for support groups, and I found one, which is Kenya Autism Alliance.
Yeah.
It's a group that is led by a lady in the US who also has a child living with autism. So I also got to interact with parents that also have children with autism, and then I came to know Karen Murioki. So that was my first. The first adult like myself who has autism. That was the first accomplishment, seeing another person like myself and actually interacting with her. And then I went through like the page. Then there was this advertisement for a poster for Mr. and Miss Light of Autism Kenya. So I went back.
But by this time, what year is this?
2018, the end of 2018.
Yeah.
So I saw that pageant poster, and I remembered back in the day when I was a teenager, I always loved watching Tyra's Next Top Model, and I was like, let me try this pageantry thing. I've never been to a pageant audition before and stuff. So I went, I auditioned. The first day of auditioning was nerve-wracking. I remember I took card somewhere from Westlands till Sportsview Kasarani with a boda before the auditions were ending.
Yeah.
I figured them. I auditioned. I was asked questions, and then later on I was accepted to go on for the training. Then the training came by. After the training, the D-Day came. and I also saw models that were autistic walk as well. And then I was named Light of Autism Kenya. And it was a big event, like 2 days after is when I saw someone sent me a tiny snippet of my video on BBC Focus. It was uplifting for me. Yeah.
You say that around 2018, 2017, that's when you get to meet Karen Muriuki.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Yes, you went to quote a special school, but there are so many people on the neurodiverse spectrum, not necessarily persons with autism. How did it feel to finally connect with Karen Muriuki? And also, fast forward to the beauty pageant. You are here, you're looking at other persons on the autism spectrum. What goes through your mind?
I felt like I belong. Like finally, I've seen my community.
Niko home.
Niko home, as in
Yeah.
Niko nyumbani. It was like that song, your nameless. I'm coming home, right where I belong.
And she had said she's not going to sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Did you win the pageantry?
Yes, I did. I was named Light of Autism Kenya 2019 to 2020.
Yeah.
And from then that's when I realized that
Yeah.
I now have a purpose, because I've been fighting so many years to find my identity.
Yeah.
And finally, not that I don't know that I was autistic, but now I'm accepting, there's something out there for me.
You only have to look for it.
Yes.
What happened after being crowned Miss Autism?
Interviews from media houses.
Yeah.
I think that actually before I was named Light of Autism, the first person who interviewed me was Sharon Mundia.
Yeah, all right.
Back then she had Living with Us on NTV. But I think that one.
I remember Sharon Mundia.
Sharon Mundia. She first interviewed me, and then now I had a number of interviews from guys, Switch TV, Look Up TV, Ebru TV, KBC.
All this time, what's going through your mind? Did you feel like you're on steroids or something?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was just a really good experience.
Yeah.
And then, like the people behind the Mr. and Miss Autism Kenya are like really great foundations, really aid us in partnership with Step Up for Autism. Like they're my foundation, it's where I started.
Yeah.
And they're my family too, even though I don't go there oftenly.
Yeah.
But there are times we would talk. We used to make it business, and okay, not business, but you're working and you're creating awareness, and we have to be serious. But at times we are like family. We joke around. As in, it's a place where you feel like you belong, and I was given a voice through them.
Yeah.
We've done so many projects with them. I've interacted with people around Mathare, because the foundation mainly focuses on the Mathare, giving free therapy to children or autistic children, adults, people with cerebral palsy as well, every Saturday morning. And they do that every single Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's for free. It's actually for free. So they're giving back to community. And I think that's what made me fall in love with them. Fall in love with them, because they do things from the heart,
Yeah.
And it's hard to find organizations that have that
Yeah.
in mind. Like, just put your heart first.
Mm.
So, yeah, so big up to Step Up for Autism and Radiators.
Yeah.
With them, I also had the opportunity to go to Morocco.
Morocco.
Yeah, I went to Morocco, the beautiful land of Morocco.
Yes. Were you in Casablanca or?
I was in Rabat.
All right.
Yes, I went there for like an autistic-led. It was an event for persons with autism. So I went there and I could represent Kenya. But I went there dancing like a Somali. You know, I'm half Somali, half Kisi, so I had to represent my people from Somali land. Aye.
Haye.
Yeah, so
Half Somali, half Kisi.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
yeah, that's
That
why I'm
ex-
fire.
You aren't supposed to do that. But anyway.
Bro, wait.
As you're discovering yourself, as you're making all these big moves,
Yeah.
what is going through your family's what is happening at home? Are they excited for you? Are they like, Bosibori, you're doing a lot? What is happening back home?
Oh, they're very excited. They're
Yeah.
very excited, and I think now they've accepted that, of course, now we can't all be doctors, scientists, lawyers.
Yeah.
The rest of the kawaida professionals in society. Yeah.
So they were like, that's the path that she's
Yes.
taken. Just let her run with
Yes. In fact, now, like, my dad is planning. You know, there's an article that was done by a guy called Rogers Odero for Standard,
that. Yeah.
and he did my article. Yeah. So when he saw, I never told him that I was going to be on the papers. So he read the papers and he saw, Sarah Bosibori ako kwa papers.
Huyu si ni msichana
Sini
yangu.
msichana wangu. I am going to, like, he would tell me, I'm going to buy a frame, and
Yeah.
I'm going to frame it in the room. Yes, the accomplishments now. Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's interesting to have a supportive family system as a person with a disability, and given on what you're sharing, definitely that is something that you've had with your family. I must not say that you're lucky, because I believe that's one of the key roles of a family. So congratulations to you and the family for the work that they are doing. Graduating the conversation into the Bosibori we are sitting with right now. What are you up to, and how does it, what you're doing right now, is it still connected to pageantry, or it's a little bit now far away from pageantry and now you're looking at totally different heights?
I could say it's from a start of pageantry,
Yeah.
but it's not fully in pageantry, because
Yeah.
now from the pageant is where I got my advocacy interests.
Yeah.
And through my interests and writing, I love writing things about my experiences as an autistic adult,
Yeah.
to educate society and also to impact a person like myself who's still wondering. So I have autism, what's next?
Yeah.
And trying to, because I think every story I post,
Yeah.
like you had talked about in one of the discussions we had, was it on day 2? No, it was day 1, when you had, like, you were among the panelists.
Oh
of
yeah,
journalists.
it was on day 1.
Yes,
it was on
it
day
was
1.
on day one.
How disability is represented in the media.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I had asked a question on how do I get people to come and, like, get so interested into, like, the conversations we have. So And you answered like it's not a mass that we gain the masses, but
Yeah.
the important thing is impacting that one person. So for me, I think that really stood up to me because
Yeah.
I really struggle. Like, hey, because I work as a community influencer for Enable Me Kenya.
Yeah.
It's an online platform
Mm.
based in Germany,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like a support group where we can share our stories, as persons with disabilities, not just persons with disabilities, but people that are living with mental health issues, people who are living with chronic illnesses. It's basically a community, and if you're an advocate like myself,
Yeah.
I'd recommend you to
Be a part of
be
it.
a part of it and share so many things about your community, because you never know, you might impact like a whole other community. And I think we're slowly growing, we're actually growing in huge numbers right now,
Yeah.
because people, once they hear there's a community, and I think we also instill the ubuntu meaning of
Yeah.
it's, I am who I am because we are
You. Who
who
we
we
are.
are. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting there. And it's fascinating that you bring up the conversation that we had on Monday. That as I do not honestly want to take away what you got from what the panelists had to answer for your question, but I also liked what Princely, the gentleman from Cameroon, said. He was like, yeah, it's okay, you can impact that one person, but also disability related stories can go viral. Yeah? So from a creator's point of view, I think I asked myself, and as the panelists were sort of giving their views and their ideas, I was like, how do you make disability news viral? You get, or how do you create virality around disability? And I really found it fascinating. I haven't found the answer yet, because you're like, okay, tell me, because I'm an influencer. Give me the bins. Let me see how I can do it. But one of the easiest things that one of the lowest hanging fruits is, what volumes of content are you putting out there? Because most of the algorithms have gotten to appreciate, the more you put out there, the more we'll try to make more people see you. But also now, because we just do not want to put out content for the sake of putting out content, what is the quality of that content? I think that's also something that we must be asking ourselves, yeah, so that we know it's quality content, and now we're putting it out there in volumes. Then I think we'll be able to create the virality that we might want around disability-related stories. But also, I think it is important to understand that we are of different demographics and different psychographics. Probably how, as you said, what you might find humorous, I might not find humorous. Not because that I am humorous or you aren't, but we just find different things funny. You like Kevin Hart, I like Dave Chappelle more. You like, we agree on one thing. I like Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. Charlie Chaplin, I sort of did not understand him, but he did funny things. You get. So we also must understand that when we are creating this content for persons with disabilities, even for those who are going to consume that they aren't persons with disabilities, we must understand they are coming from different backgrounds, different age groups. So they might not find everything that we put out there really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The previous guest that we had on asked a question.
Yeah.
And probably you might not be able to give a conclusive answer, but I'm going to pass it on. He said his question was, ask the next guest the 3 things that they think they can change at their workplace to make it more disability friendly.
Probably, I think at Enabled Me we have videos. But I think probably we should be having an avenue where we can have like talks, like what you're doing here, podcasts,
Yeah.
stuff like that. We should include it in Enable Me Kenya,
Yeah.
because now we also create an avenue for persons with who can't who can't see,
Yeah.
but can hear.
Yeah.
The blind,
Yeah.
blind community. What else? Signs interpreters.
Yeah.
If like probably Enable Me decides, let's now be doing, instead of writing articles, let's now be doing video calls,
Yeah.
and talk about anything, matters related with persons with disability. We should put like a signs interpreter and the captions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. But
Yeah.
Enable Me right now, like the platform and how it is, the design right now, it's great. And
It's
I hope
accessible.
people, yeah, it's accessible, and I hope people do join, because it's not just us community influencers that should post our stories. There are other people that are persons with disabilities that also educate us more, because we're human beings. We
Yeah.
keep on learning something new every day. Yeah.
Interesting. In a nutshell, tell us a little bit more about Enable Me.
Enable Me, like I had told you guys earlier, it's an online platform. It's a support group of some sort where we have a community. There's a this persons with disability community where we share stories, be it relatable.
Yeah.
We also share the events that are happening, like the 3 days event
Conference.
we had here.
Yeah.
Job opportunities as well are posted there for persons with disabilities who seek to look for jobs. Basically anything and everything about mental health, persons with disabilities. They say mental health. That's another trait of autism. You're repetitive.
Yeah.
So mental
Yes, you said
health,
mental health. Yeah.
health, chronic illnesses as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
if you're a survivor, cancer survivor, you can share your stories there. Maybe you
Yeah.
can impact people in your society. If you're a person living with a mental health condition like
Yeah.
bipolar, schizophrenia, you can share your stories there, so people can come and see and get an impact. You can impact a person with society.
Yeah.
If you're a person living with any sort of condition in this world, share
Yeah.
it, and you'll impact that person in society through Enable Me.
Yeah.
Because we are enabling people.
Yeah. It's like I am done. That's my elevation speech. How can people find Enable? Do they need to do any registration?
Yeah. Once you can Google Enable Me.
Yeah.
On Google, you can Google Enable Me. Once you find Enable Me, the website, you can sign in. There are actually how do I say, prompts
Yeah.
that show you if you can register and sign in. You can register yourself. After registering yourself, obviously they'll ask you your email. You can create your password and your username as well. So once you're activated, you can go explore the options on the window, and that's how you can connect. You can comment on other people's posts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with every time you post, you get some badges. Normally badges that that give you a sort of reward for accessing on Enable Me every time you're there. You also get to network with people from around the world as well, because it's based in Germany. Yeah, so you relate with so many people.
A last word before we end the conversation. Anything that you'd like to tell somebody who's watching, probably a child who just discovered the other day, they are 15, they're 16, and they've been told you are on the autism spectrum. What do you tell them?
I'd like to tell them that it's not the end. You still have time to discover yourself because you're still young. Look up autistic individuals like yourself, be it celebrities, but a support group is great for you because now you learn from others like yourself, and you get to create friendships from that. So when you go through that line, everything will be fine with you. You feel like you belong, not necessarily physically, but any sort of connection, even online, makes an impact because now you're able to educate society on how different you are.
Parent? A parent who their child has been diagnosed.
Oh, a parent, I would tell them, be patient, carry on with the spirit of parenting. Don't give up because like I had said about as an individual living with the condition, seek support groups for parents like yourself with their experiences. They can also teach you on how to navigate around the world, the neurodiverse world. And through that, imagine you'll feel like a weight has been lifted from you. I get so many messages from parents on Facebook. I didn't know I have like a huge impact on so many people's lives. I recently came to accept that, hey, okay, now I'm like
a role model
in society. And imagine if I am that, you can also be that for your child or for yourself.
Interesting.
Just continue championing it.
And then what will be the question that you'll be leaving for the next guest that we're going to be having?
A question. That's I was gonna ask how inclusive, but that's cliche. The next question. I would ask them, what sign are you? The zodiac signs.
What zodiac sign are they? All right, we'll pass it.
I'm a Gemini.
You're a Gemini.
No, actually, I'm a Taurus. I just turned 29 a few days back. Yes, I'm a Taurus.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm still waiting for a present from Alan.
You've just told me now.
Yes.
You've just told me now. So probably you will be okay. Somebody you're dating might be watching. I wanted to ask you. Probably I would give you a gift by you being my date on the dinner tonight. So that might be out of the question. But thank you very much for making the time, and we're hoping, because this is a platform that we're slowly building out, and we are hoping that we'll be able to tell as many stories and give as many voices to persons with not only with disability, but everybody who has a story that they believe needs to be heard out there. And I hope that I will be a good mentor, as you've said, and I'll be able to train you to become the best journalist than I am.
Amen.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye.